Hi, I'm Heather Smith and welcome to the Accounting Apps Podcast, exploring the accounting and business apps community. Today, I'm sharing with you the first of two recorded debates I had at the Festival of Accountants and Bookkeepers in Birmingham, March 24. The event was hosted by the brilliant people from the UK premier online accounting news, accountingweb.co.uk. This debate was on AI versus the human touch, and I battled Samuel Greene of the UK Partnerships Account Executive from Employment Hero. I always over-prepare for everything, so I turned up ready for the battle. However, I was really impressed with Samuel, as you'll hear. He came with a well-thought-out debate. Let me take a moment to remind you of the structure of debate. It starts with an introduction, so each speaker introduces their position on the topic. Then the speakers give a constructive speech, presenting their main arguments and sort of their support and their evidence behind that. Then there is a rebuttal speech, so you as the speaker rebut what the other speaker said. You address it and you refute their arguments. Then there is cross-examination, and for us this came from ourselves and it came from the audience. Then there's the wrap, the closing statement. So each side summarises their argument and sort of reinforces their stance, and then the audience voted. So for my preparation, I looked up the structure of the debate, which I just read out to you, and I prepared a solid opening argument, sort of to give myself a foundation to lead into it. I had additional support notes in favour of my argument, and I also had notes to contradict what Samuel's argument could possibly be. So I want to add that I did use ChatGPT. I asked ChatGPT positive arguments for both sides of the debate. I then asked for counter arguments for the side I wanted to defeat. From this starting point, I was able to read through the notes. I was able to muse over them, what I could possibly say. I was able to do further research on points that I wanted to amplify. And then to bring some entertainment to the session, I dubbed myself Sarah Connor, and I referred to Samuel Greene as Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator. By doing this, I bring life to the argument, and the audience can quickly identify our personas. I encourage you as you listen to this to think about what your argument be and what your rebuttal would be. The audience loved the battles more than I thought could be possible. They heckled us, they questioned us, they challenged us, and afterwards heaps of people were talking about it for weeks. So for myself personally, it really activated and challenged my mind. Let me know what you think. So we've got 2 minutes before our debate starts, and our debate is AI versus the human touch. And during the debate or afterwards, you get to vote on your app. So hopefully you all know how to access your app and vote. Yes.
That's someone who's confident of getting the votes, telling them how to vote. That's.
I might have worked as a Prime Minister's campaign manager for several years. 60 seconds countdown. Just chill. Just calm down.
Have a bit of water.
Yep, a bit of water. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Heather Smith, and as you can probably tell, if you've been watching Neighbours or Home and Away, I'm from Australia. So I'm an Australian accountant. I'm very focused on accounting apps. I have an accounting apps community, an accounting apps podcast, an accounting apps newsletter. I am a fellow of the ACCA and fellow of the ICB and a fellow of the local Australian Chartered Accountants Association. I've also into my 20th year of running a practice. And today the debate is AI versus the human touch, and my position is the human touch. So I'm the Sarah Connor side of the debate. Okay?
Hello everyone, my name's Sam Greene. I work for Employment Hero. We focus very much on your HR, your payroll software. I'm trying to follow this introduction where she just lists off all the things that she's achieved in her life. I was once in Cash in the Attic. It was a very fantastic time. And as you can tell by the accent of me being on Cash in the Attic, I'm English. As you probably assumed from Heather's position on the human touch, I'm going to be talking about the AI aspect within accounting today, and I think what that looks like currently and what that could look like in the future as well.
And you could have said you're the Terminator, and there is an Arnold Schwarzenegger event currently happening, and you could have rung him in for it.
I could have done, to be fair.
So I'm going to start with my opening statement about why the human touch is the winning side, which of course you're going to vote for on your app once we've finished. So initially, what is AI? AI is, in very simplistic terms, a combination of data sets and algorithms. Okay, so you're the algorithms working across the data sets. So as humans, we can augment, enhance, and amplify the human experience by using AI. I want to encourage you to embrace AI as much as possible. I want you to oversee it. I want you to check it before it goes out the door. I want you to leverage it as much as possible. And I want you to supervise it. As accountants and as bookkeepers, we have access to lots of different data sets. We have access to data sets about our clients, about their small businesses, about tax, about other types of government legislation. And using AI, we can run it over those different data sets and surface different information that we can take advantage of, leverage, amplify, use. So simplistic ways we can use it is instant chatbot responses. We can use it to enhance conversations and communications. And as humans, we can encourage the AI to do predictive analysis in terms of forecasting for cash flow, operational forecasts. And we can identify where the clients need support. We can identify when we should start talking to them about estate planning. We can identify when their children start to get of the age that perhaps we could start helping them and extend the life of that relationship, adding additional opportunities to our practice. So I've just stayed a couple of days at the Travel Lodge. And at the Travel Lodge in Market Harbour, they over-automated everything. The Terminators, the robots were in control. We wanted to extend our time at the Travel Lodge, and the receptionist wasn't able to do it for us. We had to stand there on a phone, tapping it all in, tapping our card in. Took us 20 minutes to add the extra day in, while she sat there completely disabled in terms of her ability, completely unempowered in terms of her ability to help us. She was embarrassed, she was frustrated, and it left us with a really poor experience of staying at that Travel Lodge. Overusing technology kills the experience for us. Customer service is too important for a robot to do it. And we, as accountants and bookkeepers, can embrace AI, but look at how we can do that. And perhaps that is, as an example, Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3 experience, where the Tier 3 experience costs you a bit of money, but has that huge, wonderful, amazing customer service experience. Tier 1, boop, 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 that's going out the door quick. But this one, if you're prepared to pay for it, first class lounge into our accounting practice. There's nothing more infuriating than artificial sympathy. Thank you.
I want to applaud, that was lovely, that was very nice.
I'll let you applaud.
I mean, don't applaud at all. Yeah, thank you, Heather. And I think, you know, just to my initial opening statement about AI itself, I think what everybody hopefully recognises here is that it's a rapidly changing landscape within the accounting space currently. And I think the integration of AI, and I'm going to refer to AI as a buzzword shortly, it is this force, and I think what it can offer is this unparalleled efficiency, accuracy, and I think on top of that kind of a scalability in terms of what you can offer in your day-to-day practices. Now, as businesses navigate kind of these complex financial arrangements and what's in place, I think really these AI power tools, they're going to be these indispensable allies from my perspective. I think they're going to streamline those repetitive tasks that you don't want to be doing day to day anymore. I think they're going to be able to analyse the vast data sets. I think you referred to data sets earlier on, but also really give you these valuable insights that you can get with unprecedented speed and precision if it's implemented in the right way and in the right form. But I think AI ultimately, it's a buzzword, isn't it? Like kind of AI, you just see AI everywhere, it kind of encompasses a lot. So what does AI actually mean when you get under the surface of what it can actually do for you? And I think I've come up with what I think are 5 points in terms of what it actually means from an accountancy perspective. So we've got the efficiency perspective. I've already mentioned those repetitive tasks, but data entry, reconciliation, and just allowing really to focus on those more strategic activities. We work with accountants day to day, and what they're saying is actually if we can automate this process and we can do this, it's going to give us more time to spend on the human touch and actually spend more time on these relationships that we want to be doing day to day, but that's going to be driven by the AI and not necessarily the other way around. From an accuracy perspective, I think there are so many large volumes of data now that we need to access with that precision, and ultimately what we're trying to do is minimise those human errors coming into place in those calculations day to day. And I do believe that AI, of course, you still sometimes want to be the one to hold the button, to press the buttons, but we see it on a payroll perspective. You've got a director-only payroll. We can see now that within software you can automate that just to run and run, but also make sure that notifications are popping up if there are any errors that are detected. So you can still find those ways to still have that control. And I think AI is very much about trusting what we can let control of go, but also what we want to keep control of. And I think that's where that human touch comes into space. We, of course, have the data analysis side in terms of then that financial performance, making those informed decisions and allow us to use AI to really delve under the bonnet of that, alongside scalability. What AI is going to allow us to do, where it can save time. If you've got 60 clients and it's saving you 10 minutes per client, well, that's 10 hours saved just there that you can spend elsewhere within your practice. And I think last but not least, it is that cost-saving element from an AI perspective. Yes, of course, you're going to have that initial cost to make improvements, but when would you not do that? If you wanted to improve your practice, nothing in life comes for free. You need to put something in to get something out. And I think ultimately, with AI and what that's going to reduce in that manual labour, what you make with that initial investment is what you're going to save longer term. And that's from my side, where I think AI is going to drive the human touch rather than the human touch driving AI.
Thank you, Sam. So...
Yeah, I'll applaud myself. I joined the applause last time as well.
So in rebuttal to your argument, I very much agree with embracing AI, but with that oversee of the human involvement in it. Because what you do find is sometimes these systems, the dream is offered to us, but it's not yet there. And an example is I worked for a client and his wife had sadly passed away from cancer years ago, but the letters kept coming in and they couldn't remove her name from the letters because the systems just kept putting it back in there, and the whole systems lack that empathy. Yes, humans do make errors, and yes, the benefit of automating everything is gives us that scalability. But to some extent, we need people coming through who can spend not a long time, but a short time doing all of that sort of the more detailed, more manual tasks, so they have a foundation for understanding what is coming along, what's coming down the route. Yeah. So that's slightly my rebuttal.
No, I think it's completely, and I think what we seem to both be in agreement of, undoubtedly, is that the human touch is still undoubtedly important day to day, and it will continue to be, and I would hope that it will be. I think what we're also agreeing on is that AI absolutely has a place within the accounting sector and actually kind of generally kind of worldwide, but it's very much about the control behind it and introducing that gradually into your practice to make sure that it works for you in the right way. And I think probably coming back to my original statement, I think what I'm hopeful for and hopeful for an agreement for here is that the AI side is going to be driving that your human touch to be more effective. And I think human touch, of course, you will still have it. You will have it now day to day. But I'm hopeful that AI will only improve upon that day to day in terms of the human touch that you can have, not only in terms of the quality of time, but also the quantity of time that you can then spend with your clients, with your businesses, supporting them further. And I think that AI is only going to drive the human touch further, which is why for me it's so important in this space right now.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that a statement that has been said quite some time is AI won't replace accountants or bookkeepers. Accountants and bookkeepers who are using and leveraging AI will replace the accountants and bookkeepers. And I think sort of to throw in there very much following, if you actually go over to the Sage stand, they're giving away Will Farnell's The Human Firm, very much focused on that human customer experience. So I wonder if anyone has some questions for us. If you're ready to vote for the human touch, you can vote right now. But if you do have any questions for us as we go along. So
Can you compare this relation to upbreed of child with AI and
what was the question?
how will AI evolve?
How will it evolve?
Can you compare that to a child being brought up?
Yeah, so it's a
Technology like that.
really, really nice point actually in terms of actually, yeah, I mean, I think to compare with that, AI is in its infancy, isn't it? I think we feel like it's kind of coming,
Yes.
it's very new still. Okay, there's kind of elements that have come in recently, but realistically it's still very, very young, and there's still a lot to learn from it. And I think ultimately with that, you allow children to make mistakes, don't you?
Yeah.
Whereas maybe with AI, maybe you don't give it that free rein, you kind of keep it a little bit more on a leash.
I know, I don't know whether Sam knows, but I know that Ben Thompson, who's the CEO of Employment Hero's vision is payroll will be completely, absolutely and utterly automated. So we as the humans will come back and have that amazing opportunity for a human experience to oversee what is actually happening, what information is surfacing that we need to deal with, giving us more time to actually deal with personnel in the firm. You did know.
Yes, yeah. It's drilled into us early on.
Absolutely. And is anyone stressed by that? That you will not have to do anything with payroll. You look stressed. No.
I see a lot of relieved faces, if anything. Well, AI's taken over, so it does make sense that. Look, just vote for AI. It's just the easiest, isn't it? If it's just on there.
So was that about choosing software?
It was, and I'm obviously here from Employment Hero. Purple stand just there. Lovely, come and say hello later. But
He has cupcakes if you need
we have cupcakes. I'm just going to again. Hang on. But also, every software company will have a roadmap. They'll have a product roadmap of what they're planning, what's looking like. I would encourage, when you're speaking to these companies, what's upcoming? What are your plans? What's your vision as a company? Because for us, we want to be working with companies where they share a similar vision, and we want to be aligned with that, and we want to be really clear on what we're going to do, what we're trying to achieve, and we want you on the journey with us, and vice versa. And we want partnerships to take place with that. And every company that you speak to, even here today, they will have a product roadmap, they'll know where their plans are with it, and they will be looking at AI right now. So go and have those conversations, be candid, speak to them and say, this is what I'm trying to achieve in what I want to do, what are you trying to achieve, does that align, and is that, I don't just want this software for now, I want it for in 5-10 years' time. Are we going to be aligning in the same way moving forward together? Yeah, exactly. And with that, ultimately, as well, what you then get is if you're jumping from one place to the other, and you'll then have to do that with your clients, and that's also costly. It's costing you time. It's costing you money. You need something. You need a long-term solution that is going to offer that. But I do think, speak about those product roadmaps. Speak about what their plans are, what their vision is, and try and get that understanding of how that can then shape your practice. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Where do you want to then go with that?
So I very much focus on accounting apps from the accountant's perspective. And if you send me a message on LinkedIn, I'll give you my sort of card of all the things I look at when choosing a solution. The number one thing I look at is support. test the support out. In terms of the roadmap, we've been in this game for a decade, 2 decades. Companies have big visions, they have big ambitions, and they put that in front of you, and it's not there yet. And I don't want. It's difficult. You've got to balance. Do I buy into that or do I not buy into that? I would buy into support. Test that support out, and question people in the forums. Some of the solutions. I'll give you another example. Of course, go and talk to Employment Hero. Expert, which is up the back on looking towards the pink theatre. They use AI brilliantly in their solution, and it's just amazing what they can surface looking across the data and surfacing using the algorithms to surface issues.
I suppose just to maybe give an example from an AI perspective from Employment Hero and where we're currently using it. So alongside our payroll software, we link it to our HR software. And effectively on there, of course, you can have your policies, your procedures, your contracts that are then pulled through for your employees. We have Hero AI currently that takes place, and what that allows you to do is use AI to scrape those policies. So a story that I tell at the moment, my wife is 24 weeks pregnant, go for the sympathy vote here to try and get some more AI votes in. But effectively what I then went on the other day was scrape through those policies, looked on the Hero AI, what's my paternity leave? It was able to scrape through those policies, tell me what I was entitled to, and understand that. So it's a very small feature, but just that AI allowed me to gain, as an employee, understanding of what I was able to access, what I can then do, and then have that conversation with my boss about what that's going to look like moving forward. So it's a very small example, but how these small touches of AI can have just a very small positive experience for an employee within a company.
So we have 3 minutes to go, and as the computer has failed us in the voting thing...
I'd say it's been successful in what I wanted it to achieve.
Should we revert to the human process and say, who would like to vote for Sarah Connor and the human touch as the winner? And who would like to vote for the Terminator and AI as the winner? Winner!
If you could still vote on the app for AI, that would be wonderful.
Fabulous. And as a closing statement from me, very much that statement I said before, it's us, the accountants and the bookkeepers, who are exploring it, who are at these conferences, who are adopting the AI, and who are open and active to embrace it, augment it, use it, and offer that amazing customer service experience and that amazing human touch.
No, and I think we found some really clear, kind of agreeable points here. And I think ultimately, look, from my perspective, I'm going to kind of double down on it. AI is there to drive the human touch. That's what it's there for. If you're using it correctly, your human touch will only improve. Your relationships with your clients, with your employees, will improve as that goes on. But it's about being selective, understanding what that AI capability is, and making sure it fits in with what you want to achieve as a business, and that will drive you forward. But that human touch, I hope, will always be at the forefront of what everybody's trying to do.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining.
Looking for additional revenue streams that are low touch but add value for your clients in 2024? Get rewarded when you refer businesses through to Employment Hero's cloud-based HR and payroll platform. You can unlock additional revenues with a 10% commission on successful referrals. Learn more by visiting employmenthero.com/become-a-partner. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed that. Which side did you end up on, I wonder? Matthew Ord, the Deputy Editor at Accounting Web, actually wrote an article about that debate, AI and the case for the human touch, which I shall drop into the show notes. Can I encourage you to subscribe to the Accounting Apps podcast, leave us a review, jump over and subscribe to the Accounting Apps newsletter, and join the Accounting Apps community. Cheers.